This part of online life may be traumatizing kids. Not just upsetting, traumatizing. In medicine, we learn fast that repeated stress can wire fear deep into the body. A new national study says cyberbullying may belong in the same conversation as adverse childhood experiences. That means childhood trauma with possible long-term mental and physical effects. The study looked at 2,697 United States students ages 13 to 17. Researchers linked different kinds of cyberbullying with symptoms on a validated post-traumatic stress scale. And the biggest surprise was not what hurt most. It was that almost everything hurt. Exclusion, gossip, fake accounts, stalking, and threats all tracked with trauma symptoms. That flips a common belief. Many adults dismiss group chat exclusion or rumor spreading as minor drama. This study suggests those quieter attacks can land just as hard. The paper was published in BMC Public Health. The researchers were Samir Hinduja at Florida Atlantic University and Justin Patchen at the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. They measured 18 forms of cyberbullying. That included cruel comments, online rumors, exclusion from chats, impersonation, and being tracked after telling someone to stop. Nearly 9 in 10 students reported at least one form of cyberbullying victimization. More than half said they were targeted by mean comments, rumors, or deliberate exclusion online. The researchers did not use a vague stress checklist. They used the Post-Traumatic Stress Clinical Scale from the Trauma Symptom Checklist for Children. They asked whether cyberbullying led to reactions like being intensely upset when reminded of it, losing interest in activities, physical stress reactions, trouble concentrating, trouble sleeping, schoolwork problems, and friendship damage. That matters because the brain does not only react to obvious danger. Federal health guidance already treats social bullying, like rumor spreading and leaving a child out of the group, as a real form of harm. And CDC materials warn that bullying can lead to social and emotional distress, anxiety, depression, sleep problems, lower academic achievement, self-harm, and even death. Think of it like carbon monoxide. You may not see it, you may not hear it, but the damage can still build quietly inside a child. Girls and younger teens initially showed higher trauma symptoms than boys and older teens. But once researchers accounted for how much bullying each student experienced, exposure mattered most. In plain English, the dose drove the damage. The more often students were targeted online, the more trauma symptoms they showed. Cyberbullying explained a large share of those differences. The study estimated cyberbullying alone accounted for about 1/3 of the variation in trauma levels. That is a striking signal for something many people still downplay. And the pattern was not limited to dramatic threats. The paper grouped behaviors into categories like threats, privacy violations, indirect attacks, identity-based abuse, and exclusion. Even the exclusion category was common, with more than half reporting intentional exclusion from a group text or group chat. That helps explain why quieter social attacks should not be brushed off. This also lines up with federal anti-bullying guidance. StopBullying.gov says many warning signs of cyberbullying show up around a child's device use, and that adults should treat cyberbullying as seriously as offline bullying. Federal health sources also note that cyberbullying can be relentless because it happens through phones, tablets, and computers that follow kids everywhere. In the latest Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance data, highlighted by stopbullying.gov, about 16% of U.S. high school students reported being electronically bullied in the previous 12 months. And once harm becomes constant, the body gets fewer chances to reset. Sleep suffers, vigilance rises, mood drops, concentration weakens. Over time, stress can start feeling normal. This also fits bigger global patterns. UNESCO says about 1 in 3 learners worldwide is bullied each month, and reports cyberbullying is a growing problem affecting as many as 1 in 10 children. So what should adults do with this? First, stop ranking harm only by how dramatic it looks. A threat is serious, but exclusion and rumor campaigns can be deeply injuring too. Second, treat signs of cyberbullying like possible trauma. Look for sudden withdrawal, panic, irritability, sleep changes, avoidance, falling grades, or a child who seems constantly on edge. Government guidance also points to headaches, stomach aches, nightmares, damaged belongings, and changes tied to device use. Third, respond fast and calmly. Save evidence, report the behavior, involve school staff, reduce exposure where possible. Most importantly, make the child feel believed, protected, and not alone. Government anti-bullying guidance also emphasizes supportive adults, clear reporting, and taking online abuse seriously. Kids do better when families and schools act early instead of minimizing it. What this study does not say is that every bad online interaction causes post-traumatic stress disorder. It says trauma symptoms rise in a meaningful way as cyberbullying accumulates. That distinction matters. We should avoid panic, but we should also stop pretending digital cruelty is harmless because there are no bruises on the skin. The real warning here is simple. A child can be injured socially, emotionally, and biologically by what happens on a screen, especially when it keeps happening. If you work with kids, ask better questions. Not just, were you threatened? Ask, were you excluded, mocked, watched, or turned into a rumor online? Because the next shift in child mental health may start with something adults still call drama. And this study says that label could be dangerously wrong.